Jim, we have an expression at Zoom Drain that we're better together. And we have, helped each other over the years. And I know I have benefited from the help of many, many mentors. Probably my number one is Al Levy on the call today with us. We'll be hearing from Al in just a few minutes. Do you feel honor bound to help a brother or a sister out based on the story of your success?
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, I really wouldn't be here. I mean, this quote here, "No one succeeds alone," really means a lot to me. And my mentor is Al as well, and you too, of course. So
I
happy
love
to
that.
help anyone.
I love Gary Keller too. He's had a big influence on me in terms of focus. And so what we're trying to do today is bring the best of what we've learned. We're going to take you on the tour of the organization. We're going to show how Zoom Drain responded to COVID-19 and the crisis. For those of you just signing in, Jim and I are safe distance away from human beings. That's why we don't have masks on right now. I'm working out of my home office and Jim's in the conference room at Zoom Drain Philadelphia. We will be going on a little tour. We're going to show you behind the scenes. But what I'd like to do now, while you've got the question bar going over on your side, type in what brought you to the call today. We had a lot of registrants. I was surprised by the number of people who registered today. So as we go, it will be helpful for us to learn why you showed up. What are you interested in? What specific questions would you like us to address during the course of the day? That's going to be helpful to you as we progress. So what brought you to a webinar on a Friday morning? What are you hoping that we share? I'll give you a minute to respond to that. I know, Jim, some of our intentions for today is to share what we've learned, not just about business in general, but certainly about tough times. Has the immediate COVID crisis had an impact on your business, and how so?
Well, it certainly caused us to change a lot of procedures. But we'll talk about it kind of as we go on, about how we have a lot of basic, we have operation manuals, and we were able really just to layer on these new procedures with COVID-19. I mean, it certainly has had an effect, but there's a lot of positive that's come out of it. Oddly enough, you could really see everyone rallied. Being that we were the essential business. I know everyone's essential, but it was really important. Everyone really took that as a sense of pride that we were able to help the community and and be there for people. So, but yeah, a lot of positive came out of this.
I know that I have always been a big champion of this industry. I married a plumber once upon a time, and I am grateful now more than ever that we are in an industry that is forever relevant, right? I mean, the drains don't know about COVID-19, and the drains have been dangerous, except it's just dangerous yesterday, it's dangerous today, like fire, like firefighters. You're going to be fighting a dangerous substance now and forever. It really made me appreciate how resilient this industry is.
Yep.
All right, let's see what we got. Wanting to grow my drain cleaning department. James, you're in the right spot. I think you're going to see a lot that will inspire you today. Love women working in the industry. Thanks, Trish. Me too. We got a few of them around here, so we like to see that as well. So as we progress, what I'd like you to do is why you came, what frustrations you have with your own business. Perhaps you have something that you'd like to share today, some way that you responded to the COVID crisis that made you stronger and better. So this is an opportunity for you to guide us a little bit by typing in what you really want out of this event today, and how we can be of service to you as we progress. All right, and I'll keep checking back on the questions so we can see where we're going. Okay, so here's our brief agenda for the day. Welcome. We're going to share, crisis and opportunity. Crisis can create opportunity, and how Zoom Drain Philadelphia and our HQ for the franchise has done that. We're going to take you on a tour. Some of it's recorded and some of it's live, so bear with us with our audio visual presentation today. We're going to share the systems, how we do things, what we focus on, how we update the systems. You'll get a chance to meet some of our team members, and of course, your questions and your ideas. This is really what we're here for. Oh, and Alex is here. She's going to be a Zoom franchise shortly and excited about it. Thanks, Alex, for joining in today. I'm so excited too. Another woman in the industry. Yeah, baby. All right. So COVID-19, among other things, I mean, we are always in the drain industry dealing with dangerous substances. And with COVID-19, it was like another layer. However, it really built on business as usual for Zoom Drain. Early on, Jim, I mean, like in the first week and this was going down, you decided to put a video together. And as I load this video up, maybe tell me about the process that you and Andrew went through and what you were hoping to communicate with this video.
Well, yeah, I mean, it wasn't about trying to make a statement. It was really about trying to keep our people safe and just trying to communicate to them that, you know, we still need to service customers, but we can do that and be safe about it. So it was really, you know, something for our employees, and then obviously for the customers to, you know, reassurance that we're going to, you know, wear our masks and be safe when we come out there and perform any work.
Well, let's take a look at this. Okay, so this should show up on the screen here. Let's see how we do.
Hi, my name's Jim Crenity from Zoom Drain. We're communicating to you today to let you know that we're open for business and we're here to help because we're an essential and critical business for the community. Clogged drains and overflowing sewers present health and safety risks. As drain and sewer experts, we're in the business of preventing diseases, now and always. With the concerns about the coronavirus, we take it as a reminder that we need to maintain a clean and safe work environment at all times. And being safe and protecting our customers is what we promote every day at Zoom Drain. But here's what we're specifically doing to protect our customers and our teams. Number one, if any of our technicians are not feeling well or they're exhibiting any symptoms of a cold or a virus, we're not allowing them to report to work, and they must follow CDC guidelines to be cleared before they come back. Every technician is required to wear personal protective equipment when they're actively working on a drain and sewer. Items include shoe covers, latex gloves, face, and eye protection. We've also put social distancing into practice. This means that we are keeping a safe distance of at least 6 feet when talking with our customers to ensure a contactless experience. And you can see by this room, it's empty. All of our office staff is working from home, and our technicians are being dispatched from home so that we can limit social contact. Of course, we've distributed hand sanitizer to every technician for every service truck. We're also disinfecting our tools, our trucks, and equipment after each job. Typically, we require signature authorizations to complete any work, but authorizations can now be made over a voice recorded line, email, or by a text message. When jobs are completed, we're disinfecting the work area, or we're recommending a third party if major water damage has occurred. If for any reason our customers are exhibiting any symptoms of a cold or a virus, or they're self-quarantined, we will notify our technicians, and as a company, we're going to determine if we can safely do the job. If we determine that we can, there will be strict enforcement of extra personal protective equipment. As we continue to monitor the pandemic across the country, know that we're enforcing steps to mitigate and slow the effects of the virus every day. Now is not the time for anyone to neglect their drain systems. We encourage you to be safe, be prepared, and stay informed.
Very cool. All right, so how did you use that internally, as well as I know it was a way to reassure customers, and how did you use that to train, and what was the impact on the team and the franchisees as you rolled out that video?
Well, we put it on the website. Number one, we distributed it out to the franchisees for them to, you know, be able to use that, in their communication to their customers. And you know, when you put stuff out there like that, you have to back it up. I mean, so it really sent the message that we need to do this stuff, and we're not playing around.
So that it really established the standard. And while some of that was operating procedure every day prior to COVID, there was an extra level that, okay, now what do we do if someone is tested positive? Can we still go into hospitals? How can we continue to serve our community? So it was really rising to that challenge. So the crisis really becomes an opportunity. And how, just maybe unpack for me a little bit some ways that you realized and capitalized on the fact that being called to a crisis like this is going to make you better.
Well, it certainly made us, really get serious about the safety. I mean, not that we weren't already, but, this obviously takes it to another level. And so, making sure that we're backed up on, the masks and, the gloves, and making sure we're just stockpiled, and, we will not be in this situation again. I mean, we're going to have, all the equipment. So, it forces you to relook at everything. But like I said before, I mean, everyone just really stepped it up. I mean, I was really surprised.
It was interesting too, like I know with some of our procedures, there would be a situation like, okay, then wear a face shield. But this really made us realize, well, when do you put the face shield on and when do you take it off? And what's the protocol once you've touched things? The safety training took another level. And I realized how hands-on every one of us, I always speak in the royal we because I was at home during this situation, but that across the empire, role play and training and checking that they have it in their truck and that they know how to put the masks on and it goes over your nose and mouth. These are things that we really had to drill down.
Yeah, I mean, there was I think I remember telling you the day, it was a Friday, and I was just a little unsure that if everyone was really taking this serious enough, so I just kind of did a timeout. All jobs have to just stop. Everyone back, right, in stages. We had, like, I think at that time you can only have 10 people in a room at a time. So we were just running in shifts and making sure everyone had the masks and the gloves and really going through the operation manuals and just making sure that they demonstrated that they knew how to use all this stuff. So that's, sometimes you have to do that.
Now, I have a technical question here, and I don't know, John, if you could maybe help me with this. Have audio on the video, but no audio now. Let me know, crew, if this is just a challenge for Jason or if that's what's being experienced across the call right now. Give me a little can hear you, can see you, if you can. And then Jason, if it's you, you might have to plug or unplug or go out or go back in, but let's see if the rest of the audio is good over here from Andrew. Okay, can hear and see. All right, so Jason, sometimes with GoToMeeting, guys, it falls apart on you, and I have found the old plumber's trick, thanks to my husband Hot Rod, is to get out and come back in, shut it down and start it up again. So you might need to do that, or unplug your headphones and try that again. So sorry about that, Jason. Let's see if we can get you back. All right, now, so let's really explore what we mean by systems. So Zoom Drain is all about systems, support, and ultimately scalability. So our intention with everything is not that one guy can do it or one gal can do it, that everybody can do what it is that we do. So on the systems, Jim, maybe we could have, well, you know what, before we go too deep into that, I'd like you to share a little bit about who you are and what the company looks like at Zoom Drain Philadelphia. So I'm going to click through some of our numbers, okay? So we're currently at about 21 service trucks. No, it's easy to lose count sometimes. Our goal is approximately 300,000 per service tech. For those of you who are interested in how this thing looks, this is Jim's location in our headquarters. 4 install crews. Our goal is 1.2 million per system engineer. We're currently tracking about 11 million in sales right now, and our goal is to be tracking 20 million. I think that's by the end of next year. We've got some ambitious goals. and 4 locations. But I think what's really interesting about the systems and the scalability, Jim, is that in 2016, you were just about 3 million. And last year you did over 10 million. So, comment on that. It took you a while to get these systems in place, but now how are they helping you scale?
Yeah, I mean, I wish I would have recognized it obviously earlier, but all the systems that we have, the recruiting really starts with the recruiting, hiring, the orienting, and the training, right? Because most people have the really difficult time getting technicians, right? So when we really embraced that and figured out that we have to spend a lot of time on that. I mean, every week we're doing interviews whether we need people or not. And so I think that was probably the key for us, is really deciding, setting a budget, allocating money towards recruiting, and then never stopping. And because in years past, what we would do is we'd wait till we lost the technician and then we'd look to hire someone. And it was just like this vicious cycle of back and forth. And until we just committed to saying, you know what, no more, we're gonna hire, if we need 2 technicians, we're gonna hire 4 apprentices and put them through a training class. And that made all the difference for us.
So just committing to that top of the funnel, that we're going to need a lot of people, and not everybody is going to make it.
Yeah, that's something that you have to really just embrace, get over it. I mean, you've heard me say, think of it like a sports team. There's people have to sit on the bench. There's a farm system, and you always have to recruit and hire, and it's just kind of the name of the game. So.
Excellent. Well, let's talk about the systems. That there are 6 main areas of the business that we focus on with our systems: planning and operations, recruiting and hiring, orientation and training, marketing and sales, budgeting and pricing, and truck stock and inventory. And this is where we're going to be hearing from Al in just a moment. This is really based on the manuals that Al helped us to create once upon a time. And now we've refined specifically for systems that are for the drain and sewer industry, because it's all we do. We're fast, we're focused, and we get stuff fixed. These are the main areas of your business. And as we progress, I'm gonna dive into each of these a little bit. Just wanted to give us the overview. The new regular, I heard this from a friend of mine, Jim Blazingame. He says, we're not gonna go back to normal. We're gonna have a new regular now. The new regular is really built on those systems, by having those solid systems in place. And it's a matter of using those systems, even our systems for getting projects done, to leverage what we've already got and embrace the new regular, make us better than ever. So we're not going backwards here, Jim. And I wanna share how the new regular looks at Zoom Drain now. And I'm going to share another video. Now, this is a tour of the company. We do have a live portion later on. We're going to visit with one of the service techs and check out a service truck. I do want to share what the office looks like now in the new regular. So buckle up, kids, and this is our tour. Jim, with your permission, I would like to ask you to color commentate on this tour. And if you want me to pause the video, I will.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, let's hit play and rock and roll.
So this is our CSR area. We call service coordinators. A little empty here, but because we still have some people working from home. This is an area we set up as our conference room. A couple people having a meeting. That's Steve, our general manager, and Christina. That's the room I'm in right now. This is a marketing department. Jarrett and Andrew work in this. We've got these exercise bikes and these stand-up desks, so those are kind of neat. They talked me into buying those. A little historical area where we have some information about the sewer industry and the drain cleaning industry. I like to keep some stuff on the past. Our meeting room, training room, where technicians meet here weekly. really throughout the week. They come in, to have their technician meeting, and then we do all kinds of training classes here. We post their pictures, their accomplishments, certificates, those kind of things up on the wall. That's what's in the back there. And then right next to the training room is our training center. So we built this training center so that we can do classroom work, and then we can move on over to this room and actually do some hands-on training. Restocking system right there. That's Tyler in the warehouse. Pretty small warehouse, considering the size we are. We really don't have a lot of stock. One of our pickup trucks just parked in there. This is the tech workroom. So the techs will come in and do their paperwork. There's a dispatch window. Field supervisor office here to the right. So field supervisors, and that's Bobby, our dispatcher, one of our dispatchers. This is Chris Roche. He's our service manager. Chris started as an apprentice. You know, he's been with us for, I think it's like 13 years now, and he runs the service department. There's the accounting department. And then HR, Amy is in HR. And then John is the financial manager. That's Karima. This small break room. And this is our office in Norristown. We have a couple other locations. And this is the service coordinator. That's Christina. And Steve's a general manager. He started with Chris Roche. He was in one of our very first apprentice classes, and now he's the general manager. That's it.
Oh, that's so good. It makes me so proud. You know, just the you know, it's not glamorous, it's just Spartan and clean and efficient, and that has everything to do with systems. So let's break down how that happens. Can you see my screen again now? How are we doing?
Yep.
Okay, good. All right, so that was the tour. And now, how do we make this happen? Remember, these are the main areas of the business that we develop manuals and systems for. And at this point, I would like to bring to the call our partner and BFF and the best operations guy I know, Al Levy. So Al, I'm going to unmute you, my friend. Talk to us about manuals and systems. You're the one who really changed everything for us by imposing this kind of bedrock to our foundation. Can you be heard? Let's hear you.
Yep. Hey, how are you guys hearing me okay?
Hi, Al. Yep.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. Yeah, so it actually starts with planning, which is why it's in front of operating. Is every day you can wake up as a contractor and be hit by another tidal wave. And what I used to think about it was kind of like, I thought I put that fire out yesterday. Why is it breaking out again today? So I was never in the mode of actually doing fire prevention. Planning is all about working on the right thing at the right time, the right way. And then that leads us to operations. And the whole idea about the manuals is documenting your policies and procedures for about 80% of what goes on. There is no such thing as 100. And to chase it is a waste. So you got to know the right 80. And that's what we've done here for you. And it basically is dovetailed to, think of the organizational chart. We have organizational charts that are flat. They're not fancy and filled up with titles for your ego. They're just how your company runs. Well, that's nice. It's really great to know and really important. What's neat is we have manuals for each of that. So think of the org chart of your bingo board, and then you fill every square with a manual. And these are the manuals. This is how you, my friends, get your life back. And that's how it happened for us, which is if they have to come to you every minute because they don't have enough knowledge to do their job, that's a problem. So these manuals are really about what you need to do to fill the box on the org chart.
I haven't heard that bingo card thing before. I love that. That's exactly what it is. But Al, you know, one of the things that
I don't have a job, I just hang out.
Yeah, well, and here's another cliche for us to explore. This is the tip of the iceberg, right? I mean, there is a lot, and it looks like a few binders, but this represents probably hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe 100 years of experience anymore between us, as we've developed with our clients, with our franchisees, with Jim's team. The tip of the iceberg.
Yes.
Al,
and it's also like what you've put on the slide here is it is, you know, set up for the software that we use. And what's great about it is what Jim was talking about early is we already had stuff on PPE. We already had stuff on general safety basics. We've really sat and, you know, did all the scenarios. Did we know this? No, what we went through, but it's so much easier to edit than it is to start from scratch and become a creator. So what you're looking at is, like El mentioned, tip of the iceberg.
I'm going to be calling on you again. I'm going to mute you right now just for the sound quality, and I've got a slide with your picture on it, so stay tuned. Thanks, Al.
Okay.
So how do we keep these manuals dynamic? So a manual is not like a set it and forget it thing. Things change. COVID-19 changed everything, but new equipment, new procedures, new safety standards, new ways to go to market. Oh, wow. This is a dynamic process. So I thought I'd show you, we use lists to keep track of the things that we need to do, and then to delegate and oversee projects. One of my favorite expressions is that the mundane work of leadership is projects. Jim, maybe you could comment on how we use Trello.
Well, you know, from thinking way back, you know, as before we were organized like we are, you know, you're never without ideas. I mean, we have 1,000,001 ideas on how we need to, you know, fix our business. And so, you know, I remember, you know, being out in the field working and then just trying to figure out, okay, how am I going to get all these projects done? What do I work on, you know, when? And, you know, like Al said, you're just constantly putting out fires. And until we really embrace the idea that like we have at Zoom now, is a planning system. And we use a product called Trello. Really, it's a project management system. And so we have a master project list that we dump all of our ideas on. And then we have a top 30 project list of things that we are going to get done in 1 year. And then we whittle that down even further to our top 5 projects. So the most important things that we need to work on. They solve our biggest challenge, or they give us the greatest opportunity for growth and to be profitable. That's the criteria that we use to take a project and turn it into a top project.
And this is like, as you start developing this culture, here's how you grow your business, kids, is you get other people to do the work. Because, you know, raise your hand or comment if this lands with you, that, you know, that your company is all jammed up at the top. You're too busy. And chances are good that your team could help you a lot more if we taught them and demonstrated how to consistently get projects done. I wish I'd learned this in 6th grade. I do. So now planning and operations, another area of the business, and I'm going to go very quickly through these because I want to fit in the tour and the interview with Derek. So the recruiting and hiring, you know, those of you, you may chime in if you have a challenge finding great people. Jim, we look for no experience necessary. Now, as you're starting out as a franchisee, a seasoned guy can be a huge help, and experience is welcome, but it won't hold us hostage. Explain that.
Yeah, I mean, you really need to get to the point where you're not so dependent on a great tech just kind of falling into your lap. I mean, you have to get to the point where you run recruiting ads all the time, not just when you need someone. You're doing interviews every week, not just when you need someone. So that's what we do. We're just constantly looking for apprentices, people without any experience. Like you have there, all we need is willingness. Someone who's willing to come in.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I was just wondering, like, what percentage of people, you talked about Steve and Roche being never evers. They started with the company and they moved all the way up the ladder, a career, not just a job. I mean, it makes my heart pound. I love this. What percentage of your team are never evers? Your service techs?
Well, if we went through like our apprentice class, if we're looking to actually graduate 3 technicians, then we'll hire 5 apprentices and hope to graduate 3 out of that class. So that's kind of how you have to go into it.
So we don't have very many service technicians on the team at Zoom Philly that came with experience.
No, very, very few, very few. I mean, there are a couple, but most, like I said about Chris Roche and Steve, I mean, general manager, service manager in, pretty big operation, they were apprentices. I mean, they started, Steve worked in a mailroom and we trained him, all up through where he is today. So
again, we honor and recognize experience. However, like if you're going to solve the I can't find good people problem, this is the way to do it. You start them and you train them and you keep training them. And that's really for every area of the org chart, by the way. So, the people who are in the accounting department learned accounting at Zoom Drain, et cetera. So then there's orientation and training, and we have the manuals and systems. I put this on here, the training center. Now you built the training center, but for the sake of the good people on the call today, you can use what you have. You can use your own systems, your own drains, your own faucets, your Sloan valve in the men's room. Like you smoke them if you got them. You're going to practice on whatever you have. And then the training center becomes the evolution of that training. And the bonus, oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I'm sorry. It's really just about the curriculum. If you have the curriculum, you have the manuals, and then you have the curriculum, you know what to train on, then you can do it at your home, your friend's home, your current business without having a training center. The training center is like really the icing on the cake, but.
Now, I've got a quick question. I want you to answer this quickly because I'm going to keep an eye on the time. So if we fit everything else in, and if I haven't answered your question yet, guys, I do want to save some time at the end before the top of the hour to go through this list and make sure we tackle it. But here's a good question. How have your hiring processes changed now that we don't do in-person interviews, or do you do them with social distancing? What's that process like these days?
Well, the first is phone interview, and then a video conference interview, and then an in-person interview with the masks and the social distancing. So
yeah, FaceTime has really changed things, right? So we can get on the phone and see each other. Very good. Okay, thanks for that. Oh, the retention part. I wanted to mention that. As you get your team involved in the training, then it actually helps your established guys, your guys who are moving up the ladder in their career. It gives them a reason to buy in and to play and to mold and form the new kids. So this orientation and training is not just for the new people, but also because we're developing leadership throughout the troops for the next field supervisor and the next system engineer. One question was, system engineer is what we call our salesperson of the bigger jobs. That's the title we use, system engineer instead of salesperson, for the install jobs. Now, okay, be prepared. This is not a high quality video. This is a video I shot a couple years ago at Jim's shop. Jim and I just got back from a trip down to Atlanta. We walked into the shop and this was happening. So the sound isn't great, but I want to see if you can feel this moment, because it was a great moment in our history. So pay attention here, kids.
All right, Jim, we just walked back into the office and this is happening. Look at this, real life training.
Slowly will continue to record.
It's awesome.
How proud are you?
It's ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
Very proud.
Awesome.
I have learned to embrace that video. I really appreciate the moment. So,
Okay, tell us what happened there, because like, we were there, but what struck you about that moment?
yeah, I mean, the fact that I wasn't the one sitting there training those people. I mean, you have what, 3 or 4 new apprentices, and I had one of my supervisors there doing the training, and he was one that we had trained first, and now he's the one training the next round of kids. So no, it's amazing. I was embarrassed of it in the beginning, but I'm glad you captured it. It was pretty sweet.
It was just so cool, because we walked in and we went, wait a minute, you're not here. This just happened. Like, your team just picked up the ball and ran with it. It was just, there's some benchmark moments in life, and I was so happy to share that with you. Okay, look who's up. It's our boy, Al. Now, Al, as we put all this together, you know what we find out? Because I'm the financial gal here, that we're going to be premium priced, that we are going to be a premium price provider. So we have to learn to sell and communicate the value of our services. So Al, I'd like you to just jump in a moment, because I don't think for a lot of service technicians that the sales part is their favorite piece of the game. Talk to us about sales power.
Well, that's true. I started at a time where it was great, because all you had to do is just, do the job. Somebody else would send them an invoice, and we hope we would get paid. Those days of sales, that isn't anywhere I go anymore, Al. It's just not true. And so even when I was still a tech, I had to learn how to talk to people. Well, one of the reasons I became a tech is I didn't want to talk to people. And now it's the most important thing, which is why Jim keeps talking about willingness being so critical. But we don't throw them to the wolves. We train them and we explain. And the biggest thing is, if I could write ethical sales power, I want to stress that to everyone who's listening, because that's the only type of sales we do. We ask good questions. We're really great at listening. We're out to help people. We follow the survey, and we have a documented sales system that takes them from the beginning all the way to the end, because the goal is to serve the customer well, get a great review. So when we talk about sales power, to me, it really is customer satisfaction power. But you need a system so that everyone who goes out there pretty much does it the same way, not unlike operating manuals.
It's so good. And then one of the things you taught us too is that marketing is really the next step after sales. Once we have a great moment between our service tech or our customer service coordinator, our service coordinator and our customer, our tech and our customer, that moment forms the basis of our marketing messages. Those testimonials become the headlines for our ads, that it's really sales and service that feeds what we do in marketing, so that we can get the right number of calls to pull all this growth together.
Yep, that's really great, Elle. Yeah, if you can't sell to Elle, your ideal customer, then how could you sell to 1 million Ellens or Jims? And so that's where we begin this process, teaching the sales, working our way towards marketing.
Excellent. All right. Well, I'm going to briefly touch on, we have budgeting and pricing systems and a price book, and all of this has just been this laborious work to get these systems in place. But now that we have them, now that they're turnkey, it makes it a lot easier to keep them dynamic and current. Truck stock has changed a lot in terms of how we used to do it manually, and now we do it with Service Titan, our customer management system, and just to make sure that the team has what they need. So we have systems for every area of your business. Now, I've got a treat for you. what I'd like you to do, Jim, is I want you to socially, protect yourself here. You got to put your mask on because he's going to go out into the rest of the office, and we're going to switch cameras. And I am going to make, Andrew, you're going to be the presenter, amigo. So you turn on your camera.
I'm going to turn the webcam off on this.
Yep. Oh, we are so high tech right now. Okay, so I've got Andrew as the presenter. Now, let me have everybody pay attention to me for a second. You can see this next little piece in a wider format if you go to your webcam control panel, and it's a gray bar at the top of where I'm talking. And up there is a little icon that has 2 people in it. And if you drop down that down arrow, you can say view presenter, and that's going to get rid of me, and it'll just show Jim in a bigger screen. Otherwise, just put your nose right up against the screen and you can see this tour. All right, so let's follow Jim, and what we wanted to do is just have a live moment where he said hello as he walked by, or walked right by. Okay, and and he's going to go to the shop. And
let me just set the stage. So we talked about real quick. So we talked about training new apprentices, and we're going to go talk to Derek Gant, who's one of our technicians. And I just want him to share with you, how he ended up at Zoom. He shared with us earlier, and it's just really an amazing story, and it's heartfelt. So.
How's it going, guys? I'm just going to explain to you how I got started at Zoom Drain. Basically, how it started was I was 24 at the time, working at Avis Car Rentals, cleaning cars. At that time, my girlfriend was pregnant with my son, and I came to a moment where I realized, I can't keep doing this, for the rest of my life. Obviously, I needed to develop a skill, while working there, I just felt expendable. So I looked online, came across Zoom Drain, filled out the application, spoke with Steve Sala, he brought me in. And ever since, everything's, it's just, I got hired at Zoom, and everything else was history. I've helped secure my future. I've developed a skill that no one can take away from me, and I'm just happy to be here.
Really, like I said, that's really what it's about. It's about, having these guys come in and teaching them a skill. And he's just one of many of the technicians who we have now. And but the thing is that you have to have the operation manuals, you have to have the curriculum, you have to have all that stuff built to have that result. Someone like him, or any of the guys. And we just walked past a couple. Zuhair, he just graduated from apprentice to tech, I think 6 months ago. He's out on the truck by himself. So this is kind of what we do. So
I'm so proud. Okay, now for the sake of time, I've got a little bit more to do. So I'm going to take over as presenter. Thank you. Let's make me the presenter. Bam. And I'm going to show my screen. You should see James with his Zoom mask on. Very good. And just this slide is intended to communicate that the idea of, Al talked about the org chart, and for every position on the org chart, we have a manual, and that now Derek's next step is to senior tech. Is he a senior tech yet? Oh, I don't know if Jim can hear me yet. And so, and then Zuhair's next step would be to go from tech to senior tech, or is Derek a senior tech yet?
He is in the class. I'm pretty sure he's in the class, the senior tech right now.
Okay, so we're moving him up the ladder, because if, very much what motivated us to franchise was to continue to provide careers for this team. So, we put all this together, and it was really motivated by where are these guys going to go? Because if you create guys who are smart at all these areas of the business, why wouldn't they go start their own business? And we're really transparent about that. They may. So if we create a better game where they can stay and help us grow, then that makes a win-win for everyone. So we decided to franchise, not only so we could expand across the country by bringing in people who may want to grow their companies faster, not go through that big, long, sloggy process of building all that, but just get to the hockey stick, you know, the business end of the hockey stick and start growing fast. So we decided to franchise, and, you know, hopefully you are interested enough in what we're doing that you might want to find out a little bit more about that. Here's our current crop of franchisees. A couple of them are missing. This is from our last Empire event, but we have 18 locations now represented by the good people who are in this picture, and a couple who are were not here for this latest event. And I have a guest star. I invited Janae. This is Janae right here with that big smile, right front and center. Janae, you're up, sister. So I'm going to open up your mic. Now, Janae will say yes to every call. So I'm hoping I don't put you on the spot right now while you're trying to take a service call. Can you be heard? There you are.
Actually have Jason with me. He's sitting right next to me today too. So
okay, here's Jason. Oops, I gotta go backwards. Here's Jason is right behind her. But Janae and Jason, why don't you share a little bit about your experience? Oh, I'm just going the wrong way. About your experience with Zoom Drain. I thought you would be nice guest stars today.
thanks for having us.
Yep. Hello, everybody.
Hey,
Jay.
So, you know, to be honest, I wanted nothing to do with the franchise. When which is kind of funny, you know, but here I am, and we're happy we joined on. Probably the best move we've ever made. So I think the biggest things for me, we did battle with the getting good techs and retaining. And so the recruiting, everything we've gotten as far as recruiting, hiring, training, we've started brand new guys, followed the tech or apprentice to tech program and gotten these guys in trucks. We've really fast tracked a few guys because of where we were. But 3 or 4 months got them into trucks as junior techs, and really been it. So we just hired 2 more apprentices, so we're up to we're just under 2 years with the franchise, and we started basically at 0 with myself, and we've got myself, and what do we have? 5 more guys.
We have 3 techs in trucks by themselves, and then
the
2
brand
more
new
apprentices we brought on, and another girl in the office.
So
That's awesome.
we are starting to see that hockey stick. You know, it's slow to start, but we're really starting to see that ramp up as we get these guys trained and we're able to start to pass things off. So we're still working. We're working hard still, but we're seeing that progress.
And
we have 2 days left of this month. You may be well onto your best month yet, huh?
It's going to be close.
Yep. we had a meeting this morning, let everybody know where we were. You know, we've got till Sunday to break the record. So.
And you know, this is like right on the heels of COVID-19. Again, so grateful for the industry, so grateful for the system, so grateful that drains don't know what the challenges are. But do you feel like you could really stand on those systems during an uncertain time and keep your guys and your customers safe? Was that of service to you?
It's been a huge service to us.
I love these guys. I tell you what, these 2 catch every call, go all the time. You really have, like, we have all these systems that make life better, but it's the magic that happens when you bring fizzy, ambitious people like you to the party. And so thanks for sharing your experience. We've got about 5 minutes left. So what I'd like to do is just get some feedback, get some questions. Thanks, Janae and Jason, for being our representatives today.
Thank you.
If you are interested in Zoom Drain, what I'd like you to do, if you want to find out more, we are low pressure. We are not trying to grow fast. You're not going to get your arm twisted. We would interview each other and find out if this is a good fit. If you are at all interested in Zoom Drain, go ahead and type in the question box. So on the GoToWebinar control panel, if you click next to your name, there's a little circle with a question mark on it. Click in that, and say, you know, I'd like to know more about Zoom Drain. I'll get the information. We'll continue our conversation. And if you have a comment or a question, now's your time. And I'm going to look back over our list. We have a lot of really nice comments. Thanks. An impressive, organized, well thought out business complex. Awesome place. Place looks great. Thanks for the compliments. A system engineer is someone who sells the bigger job. So basically our work is separated into service work. They can do a lot of service work with those Zoom design trucks. And then we do install work. We're going to get the job done, start to finish. Oh, go ahead.
Well, Harry had asked about the pre-testing, like how do we do the interviews? We talked about we do the phone, and then we do like a Zoom or a meeting, you know, like this, a Google Meet. If there is an experienced service tech, we will bring them into the training center and ask them to do some tasks in the training center to prove that they know how to do those things. So those kind of pre-testing, I'm not sure if that's what you're referring to, but we also do drug and alcohol testing. We do a background check. So that's an answer to that.
Excellent. I got another question here, Jim. Where do you find great people? Like if we're going to train them, that's great. But like, tell us a little bit more about how do you find these, you know, guys that we are so proud of?
Well, it starts with setting a budget for market for recruiting. I mean, because we set a marketing budget to get customers, but we kind of forget the fact that we need to spend money to recruit and hire people. So set a budget for that. And then we use a system, an applicant tracking system. Right now we use Google Hire, but there's products called Workable. I think there's Bamboo HR. There's a couple different applicant tracking software. And I would encourage you to get one of those systems because it really helps with keeping people in a funnel and keeping the process moving along.
Excellent. We got a lot of feedback here. What do you do when customers are not practicing social distancing? What happens then? Like you've got your guys lined up. Do you carry extra masks?
We do. Give them a mask. Yeah, you know, we try to get out in front of it as far as the asking, you know, like on the phone call, the service coordinators are asking, you know, ahead of time if they're having any symptoms, if they have COVID-19, they're under in quarantine or anything like that. So we try to stay out in front of it as much as we can.
Now, Mark has a question. Does Zoom Drain have an exit strategy? This is a big question, and we may have to do another webinar. But Mark, you would be a great person to visit with outside of this event. So what I'm doing is I'm putting right in the question box, I've got a link to set up a phone call with me. This could save us a little bit of phone tag. So I'm going to put that right next to your question, Mark. And let's visit more about Zoom Drain, about our hopes and goals. Here's what I know, like I know, if you create a turnkey company that runs with systems, that runs without you, that consistently delivers profits, at some point there's going to be an exit strategy for you, or you might say, why would I sell it? It works great and makes me a ton of money. So the maximum number of options you can create for yourself is this systematic, scalable, solid approach to making money. And we do so in a way that doesn't insult our soul, that allows us to spread the wealth and develop careers, not just jobs. I'm going to cry again. I love us. Jim, let me have you take it home. We got a minute left. Any last words?
Well, you know, I think that the one question I always kind of go back to, but the one of the questions on here was about taking someone who doesn't have any plumbing experience and going into the Zoom Drain business without that experience, and the answer is yes. You know, we can help someone who has business experience, but not necessarily has drain or plumbing experience. We can bring them on board in the Zoom Drain franchise. So, and as a matter of fact, there's someone on call right now who is in that situation, who's in this webinar. So.
Yes, exactly. Hey, Alex. Okay, can you help a non-plumber but experienced business owner get into the business? So yes, Chris, yep, for sure. Okay, excellent. Okay, I like to honor our time frame. It is 10 o'clock. We're going to say goodbye, but you can see there's a lot more to discuss. I hopefully sent off the information. We're going to follow up. We recorded this call so we can, we'll just stay in touch with you. If you need more information, if you want to talk about business in general, anything, I'm here to serve. We're here to help. So thanks, Al, for being a guest star. Thanks, Janae and Jason Knighton. Mwah. We're off.
You guys.
Thanks, guys.
See everyone.